Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I'm Agnese Zīle-Veisberga, and I'm working for the Ministry of Interior of Latvia. I'm working with the topics related to policy against trafficking in human beings. Miss Antuanetu Vasiļjevu, hello, and Miss Petju Ņestorovu, hello. And they kindly agreed to talk to us about the trafficking in human beings and what should be your actions against trafficking in human beings. What is Greta? What's its mission? What do you do here? What do you do here in Latvia? And maybe introduce yourself.
My name is Antuanetu Vasiļjevu. I am the first vice president of GREP, a group of independent experts. We are a group of 15 members. And our main task is a monitoring body to the Council of Europe Convention on Action Against Trafficking in Human Beings is to basically evaluate how the convention is implemented by the state parties who ratified the convention. And Latvia is one of them. And the reasons we are here this week is because Latvia did this in 2008, and we are doing now the third round of evaluation, basically focusing on access to justice and remedies of victims of trafficking, which is extremely important when it comes to supporting victims, identification, rehabilitation, and giving back the lives of the victims.
As regards trafficking in human beings, what is the overall situation in Europe, globally? And maybe you have spotted some trends that are not that visible yet, but will be a great concern in the near future.
Yes, I think I will try to answer this question. My name is Petju Ņestorovu, and I have been the executive secretary of the Secretariat of this Anti-Trafficking Convention since 2010. And in my function, I follow, now we have 48 state parties to the convention, but also we have links with other organizations globally. And the United Nations Office for Drugs and Crime, UNODC, in their latest global report on trafficking in persons, have noticed in particular an increase in trafficking for labor exploitation, which has accounted for 38% of identified victims. And we see the same trend in Europe as well at the regional level. Another trend is an increase in the number of children who fall victim in trafficking. Globally, it is 1/3 of all identified victims who are children, and in particular boys, the number is increasing. And we see a similar trend also at the European level, although in our latest calculations it was more like 25%, but still it is growing. Another trend which we see is the abuse of information and communication technology to recruit and control victims. Globally, of course, this is a trend, and in Europe. And the Council of Europe is currently researching this in a more profound way in order to see where the challenges are.
What steps as international community should we take to respond to these new trends? Because these are trends that we haven't experienced before.
Yes, we need a smart mix of measures which are taken at, several levels. State level, at the level of the business community, because labor exploitation often takes place through legitimate businesses, and also the level of civil society, including trade unions, and at the level of the consumers, all of us, society. So, as I said, it's a mixture of measures. The state obviously has to make sure that labor standards are really strengthened and that they apply to all workers, including migrant workers or undocumented workers, as might be the case. Businesses should be held accountable. We're talking about corporate business responsibility and accountability as well. And there is more and more talk about making businesses responsible to report on what measures they're taking to prevent trafficking and modern slavery, as is sometimes called. And then at the level of civil society, obviously trade unions have a very important role to play. We all as consumers have to be aware also of ethical consumer behavior.